Good morning, everyone. It's Joker, and today we are back with another slime video, and in technically the follow-up actual showcase video of Dark Octagram Valentine. We will now be using her in a multitude of teams and showing off how she can work as a supporting unit. So, not going to go over her kit really too much. She's got the stacking of the alts and the heal. She's an AoE. She's got the trait that gives you protection meter every 3 turns for the first 3 turns, like light Rimuru. Her second skill is the orange boost to gauges to all orbs, or the orange gauge increase to all orbs, and then the blue gauge decrease, debuff to all orbs. So we will definitely see that in effect in this fight. And so now let's just dive into the team comps and some actual gameplay. Alright, we are going to go into Crucible 62 because it's the last dark fight in Crucible that is not against Conquest Hinata or a bunch of random sharks. So it's Grucius and Sufia. This is the team we're going to run. We're going to run the Orc because he changes to oranges and he is an actual dark leader. And then we've got Diablo 1 and 2. Diablo 1 being, a very good nuker by himself with his attack boost. Diablo 2 being a very good magic nuker by himself, alongside his 80% ult damage increase, which will stack with Valentine. And then Dark Benimaru and the hero for funsy onesies, I guess. So let's go ahead and move out. And here we're going to show off just, 1 or 2 stacks of Valentine and use her where she is supposed to be used, and that is in a support role. She's AoE, her skills, technically can buff herself, but she's not meant to be a DPS unit. She is meant to be a support, because we have already 2 Valentine units, which are pretty good. One of them being an amazing DPS, and one of them being an amazing support. So she will just fall in line with Wind Valentine being a very good support. So here we have 4 greens, so let's go ahead and send them. Hopefully they don't die too fast, I think is the only thing. They're taking some damage there. Alright, so let's go ahead and actually use Valentine's ult gauge increase right here, because we have the points for it, and they debuff oranges here. Didn't realize that. How long? 3 turns. We can live. Alright, so let's begin boosting now. So there's another 20%. We've healed 2 health on Diablo 2.0, because that's all he took. Let's go ahead and send these Valentine cards. That'll get us the Orc, which we could use now. But I'm not really sure if I want to, because again, they're nerfed for a while. So we might hold out for a couple turns and try and rid our hands of blues in order to get a good hand. That is not what I would consider a good hand right there, of not blues. Thankfully, we're not taking any damage. This might be a terrible, way to face them. So they should be 1 turn left. Alright, so let's send these 2 blues. Pray that we don't get another one. And we don't. Okay, cool. So we only have to change that 1 green. So here we're going to do a few things. So we're going to use the Orc, give us 20 points, change that 1 green into an orange. We're going to use Valentine's second skill, which is going to increase our orange gauge buff by 50% on a handful of oranges. We're going to have double ults for almost everybody. And then we're going to boost up again with the ult. So that's 40% now. And we have a 2-2-2 spread. So we're going to look pretty good. But you can see now that we have an orange buff and a blue debuff. And we click on this, and it definitely says, increases your secret skill gauge by 50% and decreases your protection gauge by 25%. And, oranges normally don't give you the most blue. Actually, they give you the least amount of blue protection gauge out of all the orbs. But you'll see that we get a very, very small amount for a 6-card send, right? Look at that. A 6-card send gives you that, but we have ults for days almost. So let's go ahead and send this, 48 points. Hopefully we don't kill here. Alright, good. I don't think we will. So now we're up to, what, 40% alt boost for the team. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to nuke with Diablo 2, because we're going to include his 80% boost right here. And yeah, I think we'll do that. Actually, you know what, for funsies, I'm not going to ult with you, so let's get you out of here. You've served your purpose for now. Let's use his defense down. Alright, so now Diablo 2.0 has 120% alt boost for the 40 that we've gotten for the 2 uses of Valentine and the 80% that we've got for his own boost. And we'll see how much damage we do here. And I have 100% faith that we kill in one shot. So, there we go, 53.8. I mean, that's not a terrible amount of skill points used. We're only on turn 6. Again, this isn't a very difficult enemy because we didn't take any damage whatsoever. But it's a realistic scenario where you're using Valentine to small buff before you big buff. And thankfully Diablo 2's buff is only 15 points, so it doesn't cost worth a damn. But I could have very easily brought Windmill in here and used her buff, and then included that with Valentine. But Windmill's buff would not stack with Diablo 2's buff, because they're both temporary. So you're seeing the give and take of team building now if you want to effectively use Valentine versus, you know, going against the tried and true strategies of Windmillum. So let's move on to the next fight now. Alright, we're going to go into EX Conquest against Hinata now, and here's going to be the bulk of our testing and showcasing because I'm going to save Tempered Edge for a separate video. We're going to use a couple different teams though. So this is the first team: Hawkero, Diablo, Valentine, Dark Millum, Wind Millum, and the Hero. And so here, with Hawkero changing everything to oranges, it's going to work very well with Valentine's orange buff. We just have to get to that point first, and then Hawkero giving 40 points means that we have a solid chunk of points coming in to use what we have to. So, let's go ahead and move out. Again, Dark Millum is not like the general nuke you want to use here because Hinata is weak to physical attacks, but she's still a very good unit. And she's 100, so why not? I could have easily used the free-to-play Benimaru with his awakened gear and all that, and he would have been just fine. Oh, hello. That's a sexy walk, isn't it? First time I've seen that, actually. Alright, well, a nice treat for you. Okay. So, oranges all across the board. Works pretty well. So we'll go ahead and send these. We'll wait to use her first or her second skill until we can get Hawkero at least active once. Which we can after this hand because we have blues. So sweet deal. Alright, so send, send, and send. That gets Hawkero right here. We have 64 skill points, so we can definitely start using some of her skills because we're going to make a lot of it back. So now we're going to start boosting and then boost the oranges. So again, this is going to boost the orange gauge increase by 50% and then nerf our protection gauge increase from all these orbs. So let's go ahead and use Hawkero, make back a lot of those points. Get a full 6-card send. Valentine will get a lot. Alright, Millum, Diablo. And Valentine almost has a double ult already. And for one orb, Millum gets a lot. A lot. Maximum points right here, but you see we didn't get a lot of protection gauge, which is unfortunate because getting Hawkero is pretty important when you want to use a Hawkero team. Alright. So we're doing decent damage, obviously, because, you know, our team is very good. So now, Diablo is technically ready to go. Let's go ahead and use Valentine again. So another 20%. And we healed. So there we go. It's even better. Send them both to the back. Don't need to take any unnecessary damage. And we will work our way back up to more skill points, and then we will use Valentine again for a third time. But, as you can see, now our gauge for Hawkero is filling quite slowly. Again, we're not getting a lot of blues here, but the point still stands is that we are nerfing ourselves. Like, look how much a green gives. Like, I don't even see, because the greens are double nerf now. Alright, 80%, they actually do nothing. And this blue is not as much as one would expect. So, let's go ahead and send those. Wait for that debuff to run out. Milim has an ult now, and she really hates the hero, apparently. Okay. She'll nuke the one with the highest HP, so that'll be Milim. But then the follow-ups, I think we'll be okay. So here's that. Do we get... Yeah, we get it here. Alright, there we go. Alright. So the defense is leaving. That's fine. There's a heal. Also fine. Okay. Double hit. So, now let's use Wind Milim's ult buff right here. Okay. And then we'll go ahead and bring in Diablo for Wind Milim. And then we'll bring in Valentine for the hero. We're not going to use the hero's crit, because we just can't. We don't have enough points, technically. So, 68 points, 65 points. So we're going to run without Diablo's ult boost right here. Or we could. And we could just use it and forego that extra 20%. I think for this scenario, we're going to use Valentine's maximum power. So the ults are boosted by 60 and 70. Great. We have a 6-card send. Great. So we'll begin doing this. And we'll see if we kill here. 13, 13, and 200% from Dark Milim does 5,700. She has no real attack boost, it's just on the ults. 8,100 damage. Dark Milim, we'll skip, 27.6, and then Diablo does 26.5. So turn 7, we had enough points to use triple buff from Valentine, and we were able to kind of take advantage of the orange gauge increase on the orb, because it did allow us to have almost triple ult, like very, very quickly. Let's see if we can stack something else on top of that orange buff to make it a little better. Alright. Instead of doing Conquest again, we're going to try out a different team with her as a supporting unit. So now we're going to run the Earth team with Hakuro, Valentine, Benimaru, because he also buffs oranges up, right? But it's a different buff. It's a specific orange orb buff, and we know that specific orb buffs and all orb buffs do stack together, so we could technically get, what, 80% boost on the oranges right now? So, what is the... Remember what Earth Benny does. So, Solo Secrets damage by 35 and Solo Secrets gauge increase by 30. So yeah, combine 50 and 30, 80% ult gauge boost on oranges. So that could be insanely powerful with Hakuro. So let's test it out in Crucible 80 versus Space Milim. I believe this will be kind of funny, just with how many ults we're going to have and how much orange gauge we're getting. So, I think this will work. I hope it'll work. I think it'll work. I'm pretty sure it'll work. It's gonna work, right? Alright, there's Milim, that's cool, whatever. I care about getting a protection meter, which we can definitely do. Do you nerf oranges or greens or something? You nerf oranges and... Okay. Alright, we gotta get there fast. Right, Windmill. Oh! Well, that's something, isn't it? Oh god, she already nerfed oranges, didn't she? Well, maybe we can overcome said nerf. Alright, so let's actually do this. So let's bring in Benimaru for Soe. Go ahead and steal a little bit. And then we'll make sure that Earth Valentine can feed a little. I don't think we'll get her ult, not on these, but we'll have almost a double Hakuro meter. So that's good damage right here. Taking full advantage of the Earth team and its capabilities. Are the oranges nerfed now? And a counter? Why not? They are nerfed. Okay. Ow. Definitely ow. Oh, someone's gonna die here. That's cool. So what are these nerfed by? They're nerfed by 80%. So we can technically overcome that nerf right now by using this. And then by using Earth Benimaru for Wind Millum. And then using his buff. Alright. And then we can use Hakuro to make a handful of oranges. So technically, look at all the stuff that's going on right here. Decreases gauge increase by 80%. Decreases damage by 80%. Increases secret skill protection gauge by 50%. Decreases your protection gauge increase by 25%. Increases damage by 35%, and increases gauge increase by 30%. So, there's a lot going on here. But the important thing to remember is that gauge increase 30, gauge increase 50, 80% will cancel out this debuff right here. So we should be getting normal stuff, which it does look like we are. So, let's go ahead and run it. So, Valentine, Benimaru, and Valentine. Can I swap out? Can I swap in Zoe? I can. So let's get you out of here. There we go. All right. Pop. How much ult do we have? We have 1 and 1. All right, so that works. I didn't know that the stage nerfed oranges so quickly. I would have chosen a different one. That way we could really see the true power, but I guess we'll just do it on a different stage. Okay. Ow and ow. God, 4 attacks. Are you kidding me right now? Okay. So, what are we going to do here? We have 100 points, so let's go ahead and take out Benimaru for Windmillum. We will pop her ult buff. Alright, then we'll take her out for Valentine. We'll pop her ult buff. Okay, we'll go ahead and orb change again. Technically, this is a terrible idea, because they're not nerfed anymore. Okay, we could have waited 1 turn, I guess. Could have waited 1 turn and then seen the true power. Oh well. Crit and magic damage. Alright, let's see how this goes. Alright, so ping ping, 4,900, so okay. Good damage right there from the crits. Alright, 10.5. Will this kill though? I don't really know. We're at 70 plus 20, so we're at 90% ult boost now. 41,000 with the crit as well, and then Valentine with her magic damage and magic resistance down and 90% ult boost. 50,000. Okay, so let's come back and let's see the full power of the boosting on that turn where oranges are not nerfed. Okay, well, we barely survived that ult, so that's cool and fun and interesting. So let's go ahead and use the oranges now that they're not nerfed. So Benimaru, orange buff, orange damage up by 35% and gauge increase by 30. Go ahead and buff that. We will get him out for Octagram Valentine, who's hurting a lot. We will use her buff, 15 points. We'll also use this buff as well, get our ult damage up. Alright, she healed herself by just a tiny bit. And then we'll bring actual Valentine in for Millum. Now, there's a very high chance that both of these units die. Very high chance, because we got kind of unlucky with how she targeted people. But we are now getting 30 and 50, so 80%. So how much does 1 orb give us? Okay. How much does 6 orbs give us? Double ult for Valentine with 3 orbs. Ult and a half with Zoe for 2 orbs, and a full ult pretty much for 1 orb. So that's funny. So how much damage do we do here? Maybe I should have used the crit. Oh, well, Valentine's dead. Okay, sweet counter. Thanks a lot. Alright, hopefully she doesn't counter Soe. Okay, cool. Maybe I should have used the crit and the magic resistance down here, just for the extra damage. Oh, only one hit. Well, that's lucky, I guess. Alright, so windmill him up. Magic resist downs. Crit down. Or crit up, sorry. There we go. Alright, I think we're ready to go. So we'll send the 2 Vals, we'll send the Soe and the Val, and we should be looking good. 86, 6,800. Oh, we must have crit there. Alright, 41,000, and Val will clean up again at 51,000. Alright, so yeah, definitely Earth Benimaru does stack alongside Dark Valentine's orange boost, so that's good to know. Let's move on to the next team. Alright, the last team that we're going to use, at least for this video, is going to be Dark Protector Rimuru, a unit that I don't use very often, and I actually, until we streamed last night, totally forgot what he did. But he does do a few things that could actually work in favor of Valentine. So, increases your defense by 50%. So, I mean, that's cool. It helps everybody. Increases all allies' dark attack by 15% for 2 turns. So that just assists with the DPS. And then decreases the skill cost by 20 for Vanguard allies. Which means that, in theory, we can use Valentine's ult boost, and then use Rimuru and reset it back down, so it never, quote-unquote, costs more than 25 points every time I want to use it. Which, you know, will make the cost of using it much, much more bearable. So we're going to use this team. We're going to use both of the new dark units, right? Rimuru and Diablo 2. We've got Millum here for some blue orb changing, and then we've got Windmillum back here for the additional ult boost for the rest of the team, which, I mean, technically because Diablo 2 already has his 80% boost, we don't really need Windmillum, so you could swap her out for probably, I mean, like Dark Diablo, I guess. We could put him back in here. We could put the hero in here. We could put Space Rimuru here for that attack boost. In fact, I might actually do that. Let's put Space Rimuru in instead. So let's just flip these about. Alright. Okay, and then we've got free-to-play Benimaru, because he's actually a fairly solid unit. So let's see how well this runs back in Conquest against Hinata, because we don't have a Tempered Edge stage to use it in yet. Okay, we may have had a slight error during the the first run of this stage with the Rimuru team, so we're going to redo it, because things happened that I didn't want to happen, and it kind of... Whoa. That was interesting. Anyone else see that flash of stuff? I've noticed that after this update, things have gotten a little wonky, and by a little I mean a lot. So... we know greens are going to be nerfed, so let's just go ahead and get these out of here. We got another one coming, which is unfortunate, but we gotta we gotta live with it. And it gave us 2 more. Okay, game, I see you. You have jokes. Alright, give me a whole hand of orange, that way I can use her skill. That'd be really cool, actually. Yeah, okay, yeah, that works. So now... I can actually use both. So that's what we're going to do here. And I think I'm going to swap her out real fast for Benimaru. Yeah. Okay. So we got a double ult with Diablo. And a counter. Why not? Man. I swear. Every single update, they're like, let's just bump the counter rate up by like 2-3% until every single hit is a counter. Okay, so Diablo can go away now. We don't need him anymore, for now. So let's do that. Let's go ahead and use Rimuru so we can reset the cost of both of Valentine's skills, mainly the ult boost, which we're going to use again right now. And we'll heal up Millum a little bit. Let's burn these greens out of here. I don't want to see them. Hopefully we can get like a whole hand of blue. And maybe another orange, that way we could use Millim's Orb Change? Almost. Not quite. Let's keep sending these, though. So we get Millim's ult now. We're close to Benimaru's ult. That's not really what I want to see right there. Alright. So, let's get Rimuru in for Millim, that way she doesn't die. And we will continue. So, Valentine's debuff and buff has worn off now, so we'll get normal protection gauge from these four, which is good. So now I really just care about points, because I need enough points to use what I want to use. I don't think we're going to use the third stack of Valentine. I don't think it's really necessary, and she might not live long enough to even see those couple uses. So, let's get Diablo in here for Valentine. Alright. So now, let's go ahead and send one ult, because he's got two. There's no point in hanging on to the second one, right? Alright, 15.7. It's pretty good. Remember, it's boosted up by 40% already. So it's already got a decent amount on it. Now we have 76 points, which is great. So we have our two main nukers out on the field. We're going to use the Rimuru ult boost. We're going to use Diablo's own 80% ult boost right here. And I think we're going to be okay now that we can bring in Dark Millim for Rimuru, who doesn't have any cards. I always do that. I always do that. Not that it really matters, though, because she wasn't boosted by anything, so we can hold on to it. I don't foresee Hinata living, but Diablo has 120%, right? 40, 80. Benimaru has 40. They're both boosted up by Space Rimuru. So let's go ahead and send it, and watch Hinata pass away. So 40.9, and then Benimaru does 26.7, so definitely a lot less, but he had a lot less buff on him. So that is another team that can work out, resetting the skill cost. We didn't get to use Rimuru that often, only once, but by reducing the skill cost, increasing the dark attack, which we actually didn't have, I mean, we could have done more damage right there, and the game is super laggy now. But it is a strategy if you have Diablo 2 and Rimuru, of which I told people not to summon on that banner, so it's not a overly viable team for a lot of people, but it is a team comp. So let's head back to Valentine's kit, and we will finish up this video. Alright, so I've tested. When we used her during the stream, I've recorded a bunch of stuff last night, and I've recorded stuff today. And overall, my rating for Octagram Valentine is gonna be a 6. And it's kinda low. I would have loved to place that score a little bit higher. Because based on her looks and her outfit and everything, she deserves to be a 10. But these skills make me question things, alright? Stacking ult, fine, whatever. If I have the points to use it, I can, or I don't even bring her and I use someone else. That costs 55 points and gives me an immediate more boost than what I'm going to get. Now, yes, it will stack, but, I mean, it's a lot of points, okay? Most teams are, running for maximum efficiency, and I would not call stacking up with this skill 3 times and then using another ult booster that's temporary, I would not call that being economically wise with your skill points. The 10% heal, I think that at most it healed like under 2,000 HP on any of my units. It's not really worth writing home about. So already this skill is a little bit convoluted. It can work, and it definitely will increase your damage. But the cost is really high, and I don't see myself ever using it in any real type of hard battle content, unless I'm directly focusing on doing nothing but like building up skill points and maybe using like cabbie team. Like we could throw her on the cabbie team, and maybe we could make that work. So maybe that'll be a second video of using her on some other teams. I'm totally okay with that, figuring out where she'll work best. But this second skill, I think is mostly dumb. Like, yeah, it's great that we can get a double ult off four oranges like we did for Diablo 2 just a little bit ago, but protection skills are like the biggest skills in the game. They change the outlook of the match by just popping it once, whether it's extra points, extra skill cap, it's Cabby, right? Everyone knows what happens when you don't have Cabby active and then you have Cabby active, right? And so by intentionally nerfing yourself out of getting protection gauge, I don't like it. I would much rather have more protection gauge than more ult gauge at this point in the game, because protectors like Hakuro exist, where you're going to get a whole hand of orange, and then it really doesn't matter, right? It really doesn't matter how much orange orbs or how much ult gauge you're getting, because a 6-hand of orange is still going to do what you need it to do, and it's going to get people's ults. So, and then even on the dark team with, the orc, right? He changes to oranges as well. Granted, it's not as good as Hakuro, but he still leads the dark team and still changes to oranges, in which case you're in the same predicament of, I have a full hand of oranges, why would I really want to pop the skill and nerf the income of blue gauge? Like, I just don't like it. Her trait is great if you are able to dupe her up, if you have the currency to get this trait, which I know some people do. Some people have been waiting and blew all of their emblems on Valentine. So yeah, you'll have access to a very powerful trait. I don't think it's worth it, though. I don't see it. I don't like this unit as a whole. She could have been so much more. So my rating for now will be a 6 out of 10. Is she worth buying? If you like Valentine, I mean, by all means, you probably don't even need to watch this video. You probably already bought her. If you're on the fence about this Valentine, and if you should buy her versus some of the other Octagram units, maybe you can hold off. You can probably hold off. Romorus, I honestly think that Romorus is probably one of the best all-rounded out of them. Like, Space Millum is a great unit, but she has been hard replaced by, normal Space Millum. Romorus still being the best healer in the game, and offering that small wind attack boost, I think has a lot more value. But that's just me, guys. Let me know in the comments down below what you think of this Valentine, what you thought of her, what you thought of the showcase, and how she worked well with the teams. And then some other teams that you want me to run her on. I will try her on the space team, where we have nothing but points. Or not the space team, the wind team, where we have nothing but points because of Cabby. I will try that, but give me some other teams that I can run her on, and I shall do so. But that's it for me. Take it easy, and I'll see you later.